Hello everybody and welcome to this video on analysing the titles of poems. When should we write about them in an exam and when should we ignore them? Well, the first thing to say is that for anthology poetry you actually get given the titles of each poem in the question paper on the page before your question, and it'll look something like this. This example is the Power and Conflict cluster, but all three clusters have this list of titles. So if you go to your question and turn back one page, then you'll see all of the titles. So considering this is a closed book exam, that's a gift from AQA because they're essentially giving you quotations you can analyse, but not every title is worth writing about. If you're aiming for top marks, you want to demonstrate a conceptualised response. This means only writing about the title if it truly supports your thesis or line of argument and shows your ability to engage deeply with the text. For example, a title we won't want to analyse is London by William Blake. Why? Because it's purely functional. It just tells us where the poem is set. There's no deeper meaning, no connotations, no symbolism or metaphor or other method here, so it wouldn't add any extra depth to your argument to bring it into your answer. So let me give you some examples where you might want to write about the title, where there is something beyond the surface level that we can explore. Let's imagine you're writing about Ozymandias's oppressive, cruel leadership that ultimately disappears over time. Well, the Mandius in the title Ozymandias can be linked to the idea of a mandate or command reflecting authority. The fact that this is the king's name suggests his whole identity is closely linked to ruling and control. It shows the king's power is so strong that it's become a part of who he is, and this connection between his name and power also highlights Ozymandias's pride and arrogance belief he could never be defeated. And spot the irony here, the title Ozymandias sets us up to expect greatness, but the poem delivers a message about the impermanence of power. By the time we get to the poem, Ozymandias has been forgotten. How about My Last Duchess by Robert Browning? Well, the pronoun my shows the Duke's possessiveness and objectification of his previous wife. By referring to my last Duchess, just like displaying her portrait, the Duke reduces the Duchess to an object rather than acknowledging her as a person, and this possessiveness reflects his belief in his own control and authority over others, especially women. The Duke's treatment of the Duchess both in life and through the portrait highlights his desire for power and control, revealing a view where women are seen as possessions to be controlled, and this reveals the imbalance of power in the relationship. Now, Wilfred Owen's Exposure is a title with numerous layers of meaning. We might expect it to be about how the soldiers are exposed to enemy forces, but that's not what it's about. Exposure focuses on soldiers being exposed to brutal weather conditions as they wait in the trenches day and night. There's a medical connotation to the title. Exposure is a condition where the body is dangerously weakened due to prolonged exposure to the elements like extreme cold. But the title also works on another level. It's not just the cold they're exposed to, it's the psychological impact of waiting, of realising how pointless their suffering is. The longer they wait, the more they're exposed to their own doubts and fears, and the more they start to question what they're actually waiting for. This psychological exposure is another cause of suffering. The mental strain of constantly waiting for something, anything, to happen is what really causes the soldiers to suffer. So if we read the poem as depicting the reality of war being filled with suffering, the title alone represents the physical and psychological aspect of that. Simon Armitage's Remains is another title with numerous layers. One definition of the word is leftover, useless parts, and that links to how the soldier's been used in the machine of war and all that is left is no good to anyone. Another connotation of the word remains links to the description of a person's body after death, and of course, in simple terms, this links to the description of the looter. But on a deeper level, the remains of war aren't just the bodies of the dead, but the emotional suffering that never goes away, and the poem's title brings the two together. In Imtiaz Darka's Tissue, there's a double meaning that reflects the poem's theme. Tissue is very thin paper, but it's also the material humans are made up of, human tissue. Both are referred to in the poem. The two meanings help us bring together the metaphor of human power being fragile like tissue, and this idea is explored throughout the poem. In John Agard's Checking Out Me History, the title uses the non-standard me instead of my, which is a deliberate choice that challenges the rules of standard English. By using me, Agard refuses to accept the dominant culture that's historically forced its own language and standards on others, and the title shows the poem is about taking back power from a system that tries to control and suppress it. So these are 6 examples where the title of the Power and Conflict poem has more than a simple surface level meaning and can be linked to the major theme or idea of the poem itself. Do you think there are any more that we should add? Put a comment in the comments section and share your ideas with each other.